Welcome to the seventh and final video in the portable ice-cold shower machine series, part 7. We're going to fill it up and plug the refrigerator in and test it, and then we're going to drain it. So you'll see the shower head that I bought that has a diverter, and we're installing that, and we're going to make some connections either with or without the chiller. So you can use this either with or without the chiller. You don't have to have it plugged in, and it's quick connects. So this is the fridge, and this is the regular shower head, and we're going to add this. So we got to take this old one off, and these things probably are mostly just finger tight, and now I put some nylon tape or Teflon tape on here that I didn't need because it's got a gasket in there, so it seals with the end of the pipe, soft, thick rubber gasket. But anyway, this is the piece that comes with the shower head that I bought. The shower head with a diverter, which is what you need. You need a handheld thing. And this is the main shower head going on with the PVC glue-up connections that we did in, I think it was probably number 1 video, I believe. And that piece is going to change slightly because it doesn't really work right. It gets in the way. So we started out with this, and I had these other parts. This is not the optimal way to do this, but it is much better, and you'll see that it's too long and clunky. So the 45 really helps. See this where it's kind of, you're connecting the wand, the shower wand. So now it's basically hooked up the way it is designed, but it's got the quick connect disconnect in the middle. So if you turn it on and run the shower, you can see that it comes out of that main thing with the diverters in one position, and then if you switch the diverter to the other position, comes out the handle, and it's going through our little disconnect. And now we're going to add the hoses that will connect the chiller. Again, we made these up in an earlier video, so if you need to see that, you got to go back. Okay, so now we've got 2 hoses connected, and right now they're not connected to the chiller yet. They're just sitting there. So first we're going to fill, and we're going to use the hose that we just connected to fill it up. So normally this would be connected to the handheld wand, but instead of that we're going to just put it into the chiller with the pond liner folded in and set up in there. So when we turn on the water, the diverter's causing the water to come out from this hose, and so we're going to fill up the reservoir. So you can see it's getting pretty full there. And then I noticed we had a leak. And I think the problem was this pond liner is pretty thin, and it basically, I think what happened was the pump was banging against it as I was bringing it up the steps. I had to go 2 full flights of steps up to get to this bathroom, and I think the pump was just banging into it. So I bought this new pond liner and folded it the same way as the other video. This is a little bit harder to fold, but it's thicker, and I don't think it would be as subject to the problem. Okay, so here we are with the new pond liner in place, filling again. So I had done the draining. We're gonna look at draining before or later. So here we are filling, and we're getting pretty full again. And here we are pretty much full. So now we're ready to test again. Take this hose out, and then we plug the pump in. I'm going to test the pump here. This is the air switch, and this is the pump plug going into the air switch. So if I press this button, it should come on. Yeah, and of course, no water is shooting out anywhere. It's just getting pumped into the heat exchanger and then going back into the reservoir. And the other channel of the heat exchanger is not in use yet. So now we're adding the hoses. So this hose, I'm just putting these in finger tight. This hose is going to have the water from the diverter, and this hose is going to have the water going back to the handheld wand shower head. Again, I'm just putting these in finger tight. I think they drip just a little bit. They don't really need to. So here we are with the water coming out, going through the heat exchanger now, and that's coming up to the wand. So it's getting through the diverter. Then if I flip the diverter, it goes to the regular shower. And so the water, when you have it flipped to the handheld wand, is going through the plate chiller now, the heat exchanger. So now I'm plugging in the refrigerator, so it will chill down overnight. And I set it at 3, which turns out it's going to be too much because of the ice. Anyway, put the door on and let it cool down overnight. And before the overnight thing, I thought I'd install this temperature probe so that you could see what temperatures we were getting. It's simple installation. It fits this half-inch thread. It's got a little washer in there. What I'm going to need, we'll see shortly that the way this thing works, it's got a very short number of threads on the male side, and so when I took this off, this is where we're going to insert it between these 2 points, and when I put this on here, it bottomed out. See, so that it needed to have it would have leaked like a sieve. So I needed to get some. I figured I'd try this one first, and that didn't work. So I had to get another one that was thicker than this to connect up. This also bottomed out, or it might have worked. I don't know, but I got a thicker one. Actually, that really thick one wouldn't sit in there, but I got a thicker one in there. And then when I installed the temperature monitor, it didn't bottom out, so it was sealed well. Spent a lot of time shooting this problem, but I got that right. And then we gotta just put one of those seals in there, and then install this. And so finally got this working. And again, finger tight. And if these things drip, it's not a big deal. Just grab tighten it. So the water here in the spring in Charlotte is, I think it's dripping on. But I did type it later. But anyway, in the spring, 23 degrees Celsius. So the next day, so I'm measuring the temperature of the water inside the reservoir, and it's coming out to 36 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not freezing temperature, but pretty close. And in fact, it's building up ice, as it turns out. We'll see that later. So it's almost freezing water. And so when you turn this sprayer on, again, we're getting 22 degrees or so centigrade. So it's temperate water. Once we turn this on, now the unit is in operation. And you see the temperature drop precipitously, which is expected. So it drops down to 7 degrees centigrade, which is about 44 degrees Fahrenheit. It drops at 15 C and 28 F. So from the input water temperature to the output water temperature. It doesn't get all the way down to the freezing temperature of the temperature of the water. And then after running about 10 minutes, I think the water temperature came up a little bit, which is expected because you're throwing the warm water back into the reservoir. So anyway, let's take apart the heat exchanger out of the circuit now by removing the hose and plugging the wand back into the main connector there. And you can see that's awkward, and we will fix that shortly. It's in the way, especially in this bathroom, because the shower is not even a full height shower because the roof line is in the way. So here's the design change that I mentioned. It's simple, just 45 degree, and it drops pretty much straight down, and it's not in the way anymore. So when it's time to get this chiller out of the way, you can just plug one hose into the other and coil it up on top, and then you can roll it if you need to, like unplug it and roll it. Okay, so you need to know how to drain it, because obviously you can't be moving anything with that much water. I mean, you can roll it a little bit, but not across any boundaries. And so you take out the discharge. So this pipe normally just puts the water back into the reservoir. And you add this new PVC contraption, yet another PVC contraption, so that we can get the water out of the reservoir and then be able to move the refrigerator. So undo this hose and move it down to where the pump discharge is. And had to drain out the hose a little bit, so it didn't drip too much all over the bathroom. You got to have a few towels handy when you're doing this kind of stuff. A little drip on the floor, but not a lot. So once we had that connected, then when we turn the pump on, it's going to shoot water out of the hose right there. So hit the pump, and he shoots it out. And so it took about 5 minutes. Set it down or something like that. And so once the pump starts running fast, you can tell it's got no more water to pump. And then we can look in here and see that the ice had built up. So that means you need to turn the thermostat on the refrigerator down. So here's the long part of the design change. This is what I did kind of after the fact. But I cut some of the stuff in earlier. But I did this actually after the fact. So now we've got a much more workable connector, even though it's kind of a Rube Goldberg thing, but it works. It could be shorter than that if I just started with this design in mind. That's the way it is. So I put that on there, and that's how it looks when we're done. So that's it, completely installed and tested. This is I took it all apart, dumped out all the water, so you can see the pond liner there, and it's harder to fold that stuff. You might get a garbage can to fit inside the refrigerator. That'll work. And there's the pump and the hoses and stuff. And this thing here I didn't show you because you wouldn't have this. It gets a mixing valve for low temperature water, and I didn't test that either. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed it. The ice cold water machine.